What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering a very easy, inexpensive modification to your Civic Type R that's going to increase its cooling capacity, especially at the track. This is something I feel like pretty much every Type R owner that takes their car to the track or drives it really hard, or if you live in a very hot zone, you should definitely do this to your car. It's definitely worth looking into. So let's go ahead and show you what it is. I'm going to show you some details. I'm going to share with you what I think is some of the best things that you can do to further mitigate heat. So let's go ahead and get started. So taking a closer look here at the modification, it is of course the grill. So this right here is what I like to call the eBay special. This is that eBay grill that you can buy for pretty much any Honda Civic. It goes from the hatchback to the Type R to the coupe, and it is definitely worth a look if you're looking to decrease your temperatures on your Type R. And what do I mean by decreasing temperatures? Well, as you guys know, the Type R does suffer from overheating at the track. You guys have seen me take this car to the track a great number of times. I've actually taken it to the track more than I've actually shown you guys. I don't want to keep on repeating the same track over and over and, you know, have you guys be bored. So I don't always show you guys when I do take it to the track. But it's been a super fun car to take to the track. One of the things that I've noticed is that after 2 or 3 laps, it really starts to heat soak. So what does heat soak mean? Heat soak means that it's basically getting really, really hot and it's not making the power that it should be. Either the computer is, you know, turning down the power or decreasing timing, or a lot of different things that it can do to protect itself from overheating. One of the main reasons I think that it's overheating is because the turbo sits right here, the downpipe is right here, and this is the intake runner. This is a terrible design, terrible design. I wish the intake runner went, instead of that way, I wish it came down here or somewhere down there, not above the turbo. But I digress for now. I think one of the best things about this grill right here is that it takes away the extra bars that you may have on the Type R, and it opens it up completely. Now, it is to say, it is only about an $80 to $90 grill. I'll put a link in the description for this type of grill in case you guys can't find it. I'll actually put the link for this exact grill and where I bought it. And one of the negatives is that, yes, it does come with a regular badge. You can put in whatever badge you want. For whatever reason, mine came with this badge. And I am trying to see if I can change it out, but you can't just use the OEM Civic Type R badge on there. You have to find a different one. I'm still trying to source it. I will make a follow-up video when I do change it, but I will change it to a red badge. However, as you can see, it basically lets all the air through as it should. There's the bottom. And it's definitely one of the things that has improved a lot of people's lap times going into the hot summer months with those hot lapping days. It's just because it lets more air in, right? It makes sense. Now, being that this is only 80 bucks, now the quality is not going to be the best. So if you hit something or something hits it the wrong way, it's probably going to crack. It's not quite as robust as OEM quality. Don't really care about that. I really just care about making sure that it takes away some of that heat. Now, as you guys know, I've recently got this car rebuilt by a rebuilding shop, a shop that takes cars that are wrecked and straightens out the chassis, puts the things back on, repaints it. They did a pretty decent job. I told them to do a race car special, so I don't want to spend too much money on it, so nothing is, you know, perfect. And I got this done while it was there, so unfortunately I couldn't film it while they did it. It's very straightforward to do. You basically just take a couple of the panels here off, you take the grill out, put this grill in, and put everything back together. Very, very easy. There are other channels that will show you how to do it. But this should only be the first thing that you do, and there are other things you can do to mitigate the heat. But if you're going to do one thing, this is actually the best bang for your buck. So do this first. Now let's discuss some of the other options. So of course, one of the second best things that you can do is to increase your radiator capacity. Now your radiator sits right down here. So it's fairly easy to change. And it's not too bad. It's actually fairly beefy. But Koyo sells a really nice radiator that just drops in right here. And it works really, really well. So that would be the second thing I would do to increase your cooling capacity. The third thing I would do, of course, is then to go back here and basically remove all of this. And this is where your downpipe lives, right in there. So that's the downpipe. It's currently a catalytic converter in there. And if you know anything about catalytic converters, you know those things get really, really hot. They actually don't operate unless they are extremely hot. And the proximity of that to the radiator, in my opinion, not the smartest place to put it. Most catalytic converters are way under the car. So they go down, right? They go down through here and they go right down to the back. And that way they're away from the engine. It's keeping the heat away from the engine. Now, for emissions purposes, Honda wants to put it right next to the turbo, and that actually improves emissions. You know as well as I do, race cars don't care about emissions, so I will be doing something very shortly here to mitigate and change that. Of course, the other thing I would do is when you change the downpipe, I would wrap it first. So I'm also going to show you in a video how to wrap a downpipe. And again, this will be happening very shortly. So after you get a downpipe, after you wrap the downpipe, you make sure you get the race downpipe. You're gonna have to get a tune. Now you can get an off-the-shelf tune from K-Tuner. You can get an off-the-shelf tune from Honda. Those will both work fine. You know I use K-Tuner on my platform, and I'm gonna continue to use K-Tuner. But what I'm actually also going to do is I'm going to get a custom tune. And I do recommend that you do that as soon as you get that custom downpipe. Moving on from there, we're concentrating on cooling modifications. One of the things that's fairly easy to do is to uninstall this right here. You could basically do that when you're uninstalling the downpipe all at the same time. Might as well go and do that. When you uninstall this, you can go ahead and wrap it in gold foil tape. So if you've gone this far, you've changed the downpipe, you've wrapped the intake runner, maybe you've gotten an intake, you got the grill. One of the things that you must not forget, of course, is the intercooler. So this is actually the stock intercooler. It's just painted black for looks. The shop that I took this car to had a little bit of fun, no big deal. But I'm going to replace this intercooler with a bigger capacity intercooler. So with all of those things, let's go over them again. So the intercooler, radiator, grill. We have a downpipe. We're going to wrap the downpipe, and we have the intake runner, and we're going to go ahead and gold foil the intake runner. After all of those things, I don't think that's still enough. There's one final thing I think I'm going to do to better increase the heat capacity of this car. So as you guys can see, this car has a lot of air inlets and a lot of things to manage the air. Honda itself will tell you this car was designed first to be a street car and second to be a track car. And it shows by the fact that it's still, even after all of those modifications, the intercooler, the radiator, etc., they still tend to overheat. So I think the final thing I'm going to do to mitigate heat, I'm going to actually cut holes in my hood. I'm going to cut them right here, one right in the front, and one on the side there, one on the side there, and install some venting. Now, I don't know when I'm going to do this. I'm still thinking about if I want to do that or something else, but I think in the near future, I'm going to have to go ahead and do that just so I can mitigate the heat. And again, this is only if you want to go hard for multiple sessions, multiple laps, and that's definitely going to help with your cooling. So, like I said, I think the biggest Achilles heel of the Civic Type R is the overheating issue. And again, you can blame Honda for caring too much about the environment. It uses the radiator fluid to actually cool your exhaust charge before it gets to the turbo, which is better for NOx emissions. It also uses the exhaust gas to heat up the radiator fluid when you're turning on the car. And it keeps the catalytic converter right in front of the car, right behind the radiator. It's completely nuts, but there's ways to fix that. There's ways to mitigate that, and we're going to go ahead and do it. If you have any questions, guys, put it down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.